Hey Secondary 1 Math Prodigy, this is Coach Saiful with your daily dose of math mastery, and today we're going to go into assessment paper number 4, which is on algebra again, because it's what you've all been doing all this while, which is quite boring. Okay, so let's take a look at our assessment paper right now. I want you to have it next to you so that it's easy for you to refer to when I'm doing this. So let's do question number 1. Question number 1 is quite lengthy, so I've actually written down the questions so that it's easy for me to refer to. So let's do this right now. So look at the first question. The first question, what do we do? How do we solve this problem? When they say solve, what are they asking you actually? When they say solve, they're actually saying find the value of the variable. What is a variable? A variable is a letter. So find the value of a variable. In this case, for the first one is k, the second one is also k, and the third one is y. Okay? And the fourth one, they're asking you to find x. Okay, so that's how we do it. To solve something is to mean that we have to find the value of the variable within it. So with that knowledge, it's very simple for us to do these questions already. Okay, so let's do question number 1. How do we do this? We simply open up the one on the left hand side. Oh, by the way, it's divided into left hand side and right hand side. So if I refer to left hand side and right hand side, you know which one it is. Okay, so in this case, left hand side is 3 times 4.7 will give you 14.7 minus 3.9k equals to 6.3. Okay, now some of you might say, okay, do I move the number over here or do I move the letter? It's really up to you. If you move the letter or the number, it really equates to the same thing. I'll give you an example. Okay, minus 3.9k equals to 6.3. I bring over the 14.7, becomes minus 14.7. which will give me minus 3.9k equals to 7.8. Okay, equals to 7.8. Am I right? Let me just use this for a while. Yep, correct, 7.8. So therefore, k is equals to what? 7.8 divided by what? Be careful, minus 3.9. Okay, and you get what? K equals to negative 2. That is how you find the answer. Now, on the other hand, if you want to do a separate method, a different method, which I would prefer because it makes things so much easier without a minus sign, for more complicated questions, not for this question. Okay, so let's say from here, what I would do is, I would just simply bring over the 3.9k to the right hand side and bring the 6.3 over to the left hand side. So it becomes 14.7 minus 6.3 equals to 3.9k. Okay, and then from there you just simply get 7.8. Oh, I'm sorry about this. This is supposed to be minus, and this is equals to minus 7.8 minus 2 gives you the answer is 2. So sorry about that. 7.8 equals to 3.9k, and hence k you can bring over to the left hand side or right hand side because both sides are now similar. So the k equals to 2. Bam. Okay. So that is how you do the question. Okay. So if you got that one right, high five, because you are a math prodigy. Good job. So let's move on to to part B. So part 2. Sorry. Part 2, how do we do this? Now this one involves something called a square root. Now if you know what a square root is, it's basically, for example, square root of 9, what do you get? You get 3, correct? In other words, it's saying that square root 3 times 3 equals to 3. Now in this case, when you have a square root, right, and the answer is always one part of it, so therefore we get 3, for example. So if square root 9, if we square it, what do we get? Do we get 3? No, we get 3 squared because we have to square both sides. Therefore, we get 3 squared, which is 9. So square root 9 squared actually is 9. In other words, when I square a square root, it just disappears and then it becomes a number. So that's how it works. Okay. So with that idea in mind, let's do part 2. Part 2 is 6 square root k minus 8 equals to 64. Okay. So I would love to bring the 8 to the other side, and hence 64 changes to 64 plus 8. 64 plus 8 gives you 72. Okay, square root k. Okay, now how do I get square root k? Correct. If you said divide by 6, you are right, because this is 6 times k. 6 times k, when you bring over, it becomes divided by 6. Okay, or times 1 over 6 is how it works. Okay, so 72 divided by 6 gives you what? It gives you 12. Therefore, how do you find k? Look at the right hand side example. You just simply square both sides. When you square both sides, you get k equals to 12 squared, which is 144. Bam! So if you got that one right, high five, because you are a math prodigy. Good job. And part 3, my friends. Part 3. Let's see part 3, yeah? Part 3 is something very, very, how do I say this? Simple? Okay, so let's do this. Okay, part 3, excuse me, yeah? Part 3 is this. It says where y is positive. Why do we have that particular condition? I'm going to explain to you why in a while. Let me just solve this first, okay? Let's solve together. 3y squared minus 2 equals 7t minus 5y squared. Okay, I will bring the y over here and the 2 over here. So it becomes 3y squared plus 5y squared gives you 8y squared equals to 72. Okay, and then from there, what would I do? I would actually divide the y squared. So I get what? I get y squared equals to 72 divided by 8, which gives you 9, correct? So therefore, y squared equals to 9. Now, when it says y squared equals to 9, does y immediately equals to 3? Let me ask you a question. Does y immediately equals to 3? What other value, if you square it, will still get 9? See, if you said negative 3, you are right, you're awesome, because that is the answer. You see, yeah? 3 squared will give you 9. In other words, 3 times 3 will give you 9. But negative 3 squared will also give you 9. Why? Because negative 3 times negative 3 gives you 9. Negative times negative gives you positive. 3 times 3 gives you positive 9. Bam! So, in other words, when you have y squared equals to 9, y is also actually equals to 3 or minus 3. But since they gave y where y is positive, you just simply write there. Therefore, y is equal to 3 because it is positive. That's how it works. Okay, so you understood that one. Give yourself a high five because you are a math prodigy. Good job. And we're gonna go into the last question, which is a little tricky, I think. Okay, so let's do this. It says over here 3x minus 1 minus 5x minus 4 equals 8. Find 2x minus 11. So we don't know what he's actually asking for. So let's just try this, okay? So 3x minus 1, we open this up. What do we get? We get 3x minus 3. Be careful of your signs. Minus 5x, minus 5 times x. This is how you say it, okay? Minus 5 times x gives you minus 5x. Minus 5 times minus 4 gives you plus 20 equals to 8. 3x minus 5x gives you minus 2x. Minus 2x, you bring over the numbers to the other side. Therefore, 8 minus 3, 8 you bring over the minus 3 becomes plus 3. You get plus what? Plus 11. And you minus 20. Okay, plus 11 minus 20, you get what? You get minus 9. Therefore, x is equals to 9 over 2, which is equals to 4.5. Now, with that in mind, how do you find 2x minus 1? Simple. You see the x? You see this x? It's the same x. So therefore, x equals to 4.5. Therefore, 2x, excuse me, minus 11, excuse me, is actually 2 times 4.5 minus 11. In this case, equals to 9 minus 11, which gives you negative 2. Bam! So that is it. You see, it's not that difficult. It's pretty simple, okay? And why do I know how to do all these kind of things? Why do I know how, instinctively, how do I know this? Okay, it's very simple. Okay, I need to understand one thing, and this is quote of the week. The quote of the week says, good things take time. Good things take time. Most of you have actually improved in your results for math, which is I'm very, very proud of, superbly proud of. And for some of you, it might take a bit more time to improve to an A1 or an A1 lah, okay, to improve to an A1. So remember, good things take time, and doesn't mean that good things take time. You just sit there at home and just, oh, good things take time, and so I'm just gonna sit here and wait for it. No, you have to work for it. Okay, work for it. Take a lot of time practicing, and that is how you get to the top. If that is just Coach Saiful signing off, saying you are a math prodigy. Good job.